All right, guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. So, guys, Gennady Golovkin has come out and said that he feels that he beat Canelo Alvarez twice when they fought, and he feels he was hard done by, and he deserves a trilogy. I think there's clear to see that Gennady Golovkin is, I won't say bitter, but I think he feels very hurt by those two fights, and he feels he was hard done by, and his legacy is kind of tainted as a result of those two losses, or one draw and a loss, because he feels that he should have got the nod in both those fights. I do think that, for me, I know some people say that Gennady didn't win the first fight. I actually think Gennady won the first fight. And I actually think if Gennady did get the decision, which I think was fair in him winning the fight, I personally think that there would definitely be a trilogy. But because he got a draw, and then I thought Canelo did win the second fight. I thought it was hella close, but I think Canelo was the deserved winner in that fight. He pushed Gennady Golovkin back. He landed a lot of eye-catching shots. Golovkin landed a lot of shots as well. But I just think, I just personally think that, Canelo did a bit more in the second one. In the first one, I think Golovkin was pushing Canelo back. Canelo again was landing eye-catching shots, but I just think Golovkin did a lot more. And personally, I feel like, for me, my heart goes out to Golovkin because I do think he deserves I do think he deserves another fight. It's just the fact that I don't particularly want to see another fight, because I think this time it would be a lot more conclusive. And this time, I think he would beat Golovkin a lot easier. That's just my take. That's just my take on it. And I think there's other fights out there that would probably be better at this point. So I'm just not too keen on the Golovkin fight, even though I think Golovkin deserves it because of what Golovkin's been through in his career, in terms of, he feels hard done by, and he put in two great fights, and both of them were great fights. I just don't see how Golovkin has got any better, and I feel like Canelo has gone from strength to strength. So I don't see how the result gets any better for Golovkin. And I kind of seen these fights before, and I want to see something different. I want to see something new. And so hence why I would prefer to see a Charlo fight or a Benavidez fight, just because I think it's something different. I'm not that interested in the trilogy as much, if I'm totally honest with you. Would I watch it? Of course I would. I'm a boxing fan. I'm a hardcore boxing fan. I like Canelo, I like Golovkin, and I think it would be a good fight. I'm just not as interested as I would be in maybe other fights that could be made. But in terms of the fights where does Golovkin have a point? Look, Golovkin has a point because both those fights were really close. So if Golovkin feels he won those two fights, he's entitled to feel that way. You may not agree, but Golovkin's entitled to feel that way because both those fights were close. And let's not forget, there were many people that thought he won both those fights as well. There was many people, many fans, many even ringside, guys that were ringside at those fights. There was many people that thought that he won those fights. So for me personally, I think a trilogy is warranted just because of his performances in those two fights. I don't think there was a conclusive winner in either fight. It was very close. Irrespective of who you think won the fight, they weren't conclusive. It wasn't a conclusive victory for either guy. It was nip and tuck. So the rematch can be warranted. Do you know what I mean? You can definitely make a case for a rematch. You can definitely make a case for them fighting again. But from my personal point of view, I wouldn't like to see it just because I'm not as interested in that fight. Now, that doesn't mean that you guys might not be that interested, or many others might not be interested. There might be a lot of people that's still interested to see Golovkin. Listen, if the fight gets made, we'll all watch it, we'll all be hyped. But I just think there's other fights out there that would interest me more. As a hardcore boxing fan, I think there's other fights out there. But at the same time, I do feel for Golovkin. And I do feel Golovkin deserves that fight as well. So I'm kind of like torn on it. Like, I feel for Golovkin and I feel like he deserves that fight. But then I also feel that I'm not really that interested in it. I've seen it twice and I don't think Golovkin's got any better. I think Canelo's got better and I can only see it ending worse for Golovkin this time. And I think if they were to fight again, I think Canelo would be the conclusive winner. I don't know if he would stop Golovkin, but I think he would conclusively beat him. I don't think Golovkin has much in the tank to compete against this Canelo Alvarez. So personally, I'm not that interested in that fight. I don't know what you guys think. I'm just not that interested. I think Canelo has a lot of other options. I would like to see him fight Arthur Beterbiev. I think that's a much better fight at this point. I think Beterbiev is a much more dangerous fight for Canelo. I think it's a much more fan-friendly fight, and it's a fight that I think a lot more fans would be interested in than him fighting Gennady Golovkin. But again, I think Golovkin, look, it's not a fight that I would prefer, but it's a fight that I think Golovkin deserves. As strange as that sounds, I think Golovkin deserves a trilogy. But at the same time, it's not my preferred choice. It's not a fight that I think there's 3 or 4 fights I would rather see, just because we've seen the Golovkin fight. I would like somebody else to get their chance at Canelo, a different style, somebody younger, probably more hungrier. But at the same time, I feel for Golovkin because, like I said, neither fight there was a conclusive winner. And you'd probably have to say that Golovkin deserves another fight. Golovkin deserves to get a Canelo fight. But at the same time, is it something that really interests me? Not really. If I'm brutally honest, if I'm brutally honest, I'm not that interested in a Golovkin-Canelo trilogy. But I would watch it without question. I'd watch it. I think we all would, because we all are fans of Canelo and Golovkin, so we'd love to watch it. But I just wouldn't. It is what it is. I think for me personally, I would prefer Canelo to fight a Charlo, Benavidez. I think they're more interesting fights. I think they're more fan-friendly fights. And I think they're fights which would be better to view. Guys, it seems like it's gone really dark here. I don't know. My light's gone down. Let me just switch the light on. Give me a sec, guys. Give me a sec. Give me a sec, guys. Give me a sec. So I want to see the fight that I really want to see out of all the fights is Canelo and Charlo for some reason. I really think that's a good fight, to be brutally honest with you. I think Canelo and Charlo for me are definitely is a great fight, and that's a fight that I would like to see, to be brutally honest. But is it gonna happen? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Canelo right now. If he does decide to take the Bivol and Golovkin offer, I wouldn't mind that, because I think Bivol is a fight that I would like to see. Bivol is definitely a fight that I would like to see. But in terms of Golovkin, I think Golovkin's kind of past his best, and like I said, I think Canelo would dominate that fight a lot easier now. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what Canelo decides to do. I don't personally think he's going to. Do I think he's going to fight Golovkin again? Canelo's come out and said no, he's already fought him, he's already beat him, so what has he got to prove? I feel like Canelo might feel that chapter's closed. But then at the same time, we're hearing that he's closing into a 2-fight deal. It's raining cats and dogs outside. It's raining crazy outside. But yeah, Canelo might already feel that chapter is closed. Canelo might feel that he's already shot that chapter. He's already shot that chapter on Golovkin, so he may not want that fight again. Also, just say, for example, Golovkin puts in a great fight and maybe beats Canelo, which I don't see happening. It kind of opens up another can of worms. So Canelo might think that I've already shot that chapter, I beat him. There's no point of going back there. There's other fights for me out there which would create a lot of interest. And there's other opportunities. There's other opportunities out there that would add to his legacy. Other names that would strengthen up his resume for me, like Charlo, Benavidez, Beterbiev. I think Beterbiev at this point would add to his legacy massively. So personally, I think Beterbiev is the fight that a lot of hardcore boxing fans would probably want to see, just because of the fact that I think Beterbiev fight is a fan-friendly fight. That would be a great fight to watch. But in terms of Golovkin, do I think he won both those fights? I thought he won the first one. I thought he lost the second one. And that's how I see it. So I feel for Golovkin because I feel like he deserves a trilogy. But at the same time, I don't really want to see there's other options. It's not that I don't want to see it. It's just that I think there's other fights out there better for him. Do you understand where I'm coming from? There's other fights out there that I would rather see than watch the, Golovkin fight again. And that's just my personal opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that's just my personal opinion. But again, what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Who do you think Canelo's going to go with? Because there seems to be a lot of back and forth and nobody seems to know who's Canelo going to fight. Let me know. Let me know who's your preferred opponent. Who would you rather see Canelo fight? Would you want to see him fight Golovkin again? What's your take on the two fights that Canelo had with Golovkin? Do you think Golovkin won both those fights? Do you think Canelo won both those fights? Or do you think, the draw and the win for Canelo was fair? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I really want to know what you guys think. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button, share the video, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys. Guys, make sure to smash that like button. I really appreciate when you smash the like button. Really helps my channel, really helps me grow. And let me know what your thoughts were. Leave your comments in the comment section. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.